Hi there, welcome. Today we are going to be cooking a rice and bean burrito. This is one of my favorite dishes, and I thought it would be a great thing to make for all of you today as we are trying to utilize some of the pantry items that we have and find recipes that don't take too long to make, but also really great for you and that your family will really enjoy. So with that, I'm just heating up a skillet. I've put 1 tablespoon of olive oil in here, and so I'm getting that warmed up in the skillet. And then I have diced up 1 kind of medium-sized onion. It's about a 1 cup of onion. So you can go ahead and put that in the skillet and then let that start sauteing in your skillet as it gets warm. It'll take about 2 minutes or so to cook the onion. If you want a little deeper, richer taste, then I would cook the onions a little bit longer. They'll start to brown. And that nice golden color allows them to be a lot sweeter, and it'll add a lot more flavor to your dish as well. So go ahead and as you're cooking this, let it cook a little bit longer at home and see how you like that taste. The other thing I did before I started as well is I took half a cup of brown rice. I put that in a small pot with about 1.5 cups of vegetable stock, and then I put that in a pot and started cooking that. With rice, once you put it in the pot, you do not need to stir it all once it starts cooking. You just put the lid on, let it sit. Brown rice is about 30 minutes to cook. And you'll see here, there's some great little kind of holes in that rice. And once those holes kind of form, you know all that water has evaporated, and it's good to start using that in your dish. So we're gonna add this in a little bit to our dish. And basically, as soon as you come home from work, you can get that cooking right away, and that way it's ready to go. Our onions are starting to have a nice sizzle. There's nothing better than the smell of onion sauteing. It tastes delicious. So we've got that going. We're also gonna go ahead and add in about 2 cloves of garlic. These are minced, so it's about 1 tablespoon of garlic that we're gonna add in there as well. Usually you add the garlic towards the end because you don't want it to burn. It cooks a lot quicker. We're also gonna add in some bell pepper. In this case, we're going to add in some red bell pepper. It's just 1 red bell pepper chopped. You could also add in a green bell pepper if you want a little more brightness and color in your dish. The bell pepper also takes about 2 minutes to saute, and then it'll be nicely cooked. I like it a little more firm, so that way I don't cook it quite as long. We want to make sure we add some great spices to this dish. So spices are great for you, and they add a lot of great flavor to your dish. So here I'm going to go ahead and put in what we call our taco seasoning, and you'll see this in the recipe that we'll post. We have some oregano, some garlic powder, some smoked paprika, onion powder, and some cumin and chili powder. And so it's very bright and colorful, all those colors together. And we're going to go ahead and put those in the dish as well and sprinkle that around. And now the flavor and smell is really going to add even more to that dish. And then we'll sprinkle in about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. So we put that in there. If you like things a little more peppery, go ahead and add a little more. If you also like things hotter, you can add a little jalapeno if you want, or serrano peppers. Just make sure your whole family enjoys hotter things before you add those in. So sticking with the theme of adding some things from your pantry, we've got some canned tomatoes here, so we're gonna put those in. And what will happen is that liquid from that juice of those tomatoes will start to get absorbed into the rice that we add a little bit, as well as the liquid will just evaporate as it cooks. We're also going to put in 1 can of pinto beans. I have drained these pinto beans to get rid of the liquid, but then I'm going to go ahead and just stir those pinto beans in this dish as well. So beans are just a great source of protein, a great source of fiber. They help to really make you feel full. I think this can probably cost 60 cents. So really not very expensive at all to cook with. We're also going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. This just adds a nice little tang, some great flavor as well. So we'll add about 1 teaspoon of this in the dish as well. Then finally what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add in that cooked rice. We'll just stick that right in this pot here. Looks like it doesn't want to come out, but here comes that nice brown rice that's been cooked. Brown rice is great to use versus white rice because it's got all that bran and fiber there. It's not been taken away, so where you can start to use more brown rice in your cooking, I would really suggest that you do that. So with this dish, you know, the recipe calls for making it into a burrito, but I also really enjoy eating this just kind of as a bowl. In our house, we do a lot of bowl meals where everybody has a nice big bowl and they fill it with everything, put all the toppings they want on. And so today I'm going to show you how we do that today by basically making it into a bowl dish. So I'd let this cook ideally at home if you had more time, another maybe 5 minutes or so, and let it kind of simmer with all the great flavors. But I'm gonna go ahead and plate it now so you can see the final product. So I've got that bowl here. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop out the ingredients. This will probably serve about 4 people. I have 2 boys, and so sometimes I end up doubling this a lot of times to make sure I have enough for them and to make sure I have some leftovers. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of put everything in a bowl here, and then the fun part is the toppings. So I love to have fun with toppings and add a lot of things there. So what I've got here is some cheddar cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some cheddar cheese on top. Usually you would sprinkle this first, because if you want it to melt, it'll make that direct contact with the items in the bowl and the heat and really melt nicely there. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle that cheddar cheese on there. I also, when I was chopping the onion, I saved a little bit of the raw onion and put that on it as well. Gives a lot of great sweet crunch with some of that raw onion on top. I added this as an extra little item. You could note, if you love black olives like I do, and your kids do like mine do as well, I throw little black olives on as well. My kids, when they see them, they're really excited to eat this dish, so I throw some black olives on as well. And finally, for the beautiful garnish at the end, we're gonna put some fresh cilantro on top. When you chop up cilantro, feel free to use both the stem and the leaf. They're both great to eat. So that's all here. So here is our final finished product. We've got a beautiful bean and rice burrito bowl, as I would call it, and it's ready to eat. So enjoy. I hope you would get a chance to make this dish soon.